Hey everyone, this is StarcraftDad, and welcome back to the third season of the Blizzard Online Ladder. Today's game is between PlacentaStew playing Protoss in the lower left-hand corner, and CuePhoenix playing Terran, the red Terran, in the upper right-hand corner. It's been a while since we've casted games from the Online Ladder. I was going to cast this game a couple of days ago, but ran into some technical difficulties. My headset mic went out, but I now have a new headset, and we'll be putting it through its paces over the next couple of days, and so expect a lot of casting and a lot of videos and whatnot, trying to see if this headset's going to break on me anytime soon. Both players building their beginning workers, and CuePhoenix plopping down his starting supply depot. A little bit of chatter at the beginning. PlacentaStew chrono boosting out his probes. Looks like CuePhoenix's wife thinks that the name PlacentaStew is cool. That's kind of interesting. PlacentaStew continuing to mine down here, and players just kind of getting started. Normal starts for both players. CuePhoenix starting up on his barracks. It's going to be a little bit ahead of this gateway coming from PlacentaStew. PlacentaStew's got a lot of minerals banked up, but the chatter back and forth can kind of slow down the starts of these games. Okay, so CuePhoenix's wife thinks PlacentaStew is a funny name, not a cool name. Barracks halfway done, so CuePhoenix going to have some early units coming up, and PlacentaStew kind of holding off on this first gateway. There it goes. And a request from CuePhoenix's wife to cast this game, and surprise, surprise, we are casting it, and CuePhoenix is doing a double barracks wall at the front. PlacentaStew sending his... oh, there we go. Sending a probe around the base, looking for proxy trouble, which is kind of an interesting response. Terrans usually don't build proxy buildings inside other people's bases, but no worries, no problems there. PlacentaStew saying, let's cast this game, and we are. Double gateway coming up for PlacentaStew. Could be seeing some early pressure from these players. Barracks is now done for CuePhoenix, getting near his supply cap here. 19 should be building a supply depot soon, building his refinery there, and PlacentaStew also building his assimilator. So both players on double initial buildings and one gas. CuePhoenix has scouted out the initial, his cross position down here in the lower right hand corner, and now sending his SCV over to the close by ground position is over here, but now he's sending his SCV to the cross position. Should be getting a good view of what's going on in PlacentaStew's base. We'll check out his vision and look that he can see 1, 2 gateways and another building here. Probably can't tell that's a cyber core yet, but he can probably safely assume that. Bringing his SCV back here, going to see that there is one gas, and if he would click on it, he would see there are 3 workers on it, which is a standard 4 gate, so he should be expecting a 4 gate coming from PlacentaStew. That's what I would expect if I were scouting that. CuePhoenix putting down an engineering bay. That's kind of an interesting decision. Perhaps he's expecting some Dark Templar play coming out from PlacentaStew, which is not really all that common, coming out really that quickly, but you never know. I think you'd probably have to have maybe another gas coming here, or at least plopping down a Templar archives in that case, but this SCV being pushed out of the base by that Zealot and that probe. PlacentaStew building his pylons here, is trying to stay ahead on the supply game, although he is supply blocked. Maybe that's why. Got his Zealot just sitting here in the queue, not doing anything. But PlacentaStew building up here, should be expecting another gateway for the standard 4-gate configuration. And looks like CuePhoenix is taking this time to move out with his 7 Marines, continuing to build Marines out of these 2 bunkers, and now researching armor for his engineering base. So going for an early upgrade there. That'll be nice, but I really think that these 4 gates, especially with warp gate technology almost finishing for PlacentaStew, he'll be able to hold off any kind of early attack from CuePhoenix. It just takes so long for these units to move across the map, as you can see here. Now CuePhoenix doing some let's give me out of that follow mode. CuePhoenix having this SCV up here at the Zilnaga Tower. These Zilnaga Towers there are vitally important for games on this map, especially when the players are in cross position, because either tower can give vision to this middle area, so you should be able to see any kind of move out from your player in the cross position. These 7 Marines hanging back here, not sure why. Maybe they're waiting for that armor upgrade to finish, but the longer that he waits, the more of a defense that PlacentaStew will have. Lots of pylons being built. Placenta trying not to be supply blocked. Now he's got his 4 warp gates. He can spend some of that money he's been banking up, and CuePhoenix banking up money as well. Looks like he is not quite supply blocked, building a factory. I think he was supply blocked a little bit earlier, and now he is up to 11 Marines up here at this base, preventing that natural expansion from coming out, or at least being able to sense it when it comes out. This SCV being sent out, looks like he's going to be building a proxy barracks in this upper left-hand corner, which is kind of a cute idea. Bronze and Silver League, that's where it's at. These zealots being congregated together here. Looks like he's going to do a push out or waiting for some kind of attack. These Marines coming up the front gate. Looks like they'll be able to take off 1 or 2 units. Looks like this Zealot may be the sacrificial lamb here. But they're running away from that Zealot. Going to come back and try to take him out, but he's going to survive to live another day, taking just a little bit of damage. Well, okay, significant amount of damage here, but his shields will be able to recharge unless these Marines come back for more attacks. Looks like they're settling back behind these Vespene geyser vents back here, perhaps hoping to hide when this army moves out, but we'll see whether that happens or not. CuePhoenix going for a double starport back at his base. Kind of an interesting decision, and a reactor on that factory, and a 3rd barracks. PlacentaStew sending out a scouting probe, and looks like we've got to move out from Placenta, and we're going to see what he's going to do here. He can see these units, they can't see him. Can they see him? They can see him, so it looks like we're going to have an engagement here. And this this Zealot is going to die finally after, you know, that lead Zealot. But pulling back this damaged stalker, that was a good choice. CuePhoenix dancing back and forth with these Marines, that's a bad choice. You know, these Marines are just going to get destroyed anyways. They had a chance of maybe cleaning up some of these units had they just gone ahead and attacked, but instead they just get annihilated by these Zealots. This proxy barracks is done, just sitting there, and CuePhoenix back at his base. Okay, leaving that reactor on the factory, building double Hellion. That's kind of an interesting decision. Haven't seen a lot of that. And a tech lab on 1 starport, reactor on the other one. That's pretty standard. Should be seeing some medevacs and maybe a Raven or a Banshee. Banshees probably. CuePhoenix really liking the Banshee's reactor on this barracks. So upgrading a lot of these unit producing structures. Should be expecting something coming out of the starport. And got your 2 Hellions here. Hellions do extra damage, as you can see here, versus light, 14 damage, so that'll be good against those Zealots. And it looks like PlacentaStew is moving out across the middle of the base. CuePhoenix not seeing any of that, although he has left a missile turret here. Missile turrets do not activate Xel'Naga towers. Not sure why he's got a missile turret there. It's kind of an interesting choice. A couple of stalkers and a bunch of Zealots, so kind of a mixed force here. And the observer checking out this lower right-hand expansion. Doing a lot of scouting here by both players, and this reactor's done at this proxy barracks, but nothing going on there. Looks like some more stalkers and zealots, and a probe coming out. So this probe should be putting down a proxy pylon. With these 4 warp gates back at home. Ooh, and a mortal coming out, and another one on the way. So a mortal stalker zealot. With these 4 warp gates, PlacentaStew should be able to reinforce his army pretty well if he puts down a proxy pylon. We can just see where this probe is going. We'll just watch him creep along here. So after scouting this base and knowing that nothing's going on here, he can put down a proxy pylon there. And as he does that, you can see his army moving out with this observer. Not sure why he needs to take that observer with him, but CuePhoenix, whoa, he built a Raven of all things. Looks like he was expecting some DT play. Ravens act as mobile detectors. But PlacentaStew just content to sit here at the front gate, which is an interesting decision. But he has nothing to fear. He's far ahead of CuePhoenix on the supply route. I would definitely say that he's ahead at this point, although CuePhoenix has a lot of unit-producing structures, but he's not really using them. Building his expansion here, his command center. Command center is being mobile. He can just build that safely within his base and then move out. Looks like he's building Marines and Marauders. And, okay, a Banshee. So we got Banshee, Raven, Marine, Hellion. Such an interesting unit makeup. PlacentaStew coming up the ramp and expecting a natural expansion, but there's nothing here. Gonna take out this Marine, gonna get annihilated by these Immortals. These Zealots trying to rush up, getting killed off by a whole bunch of Hellions and Marines on the high ground. PlacentaStew backing off. So he's got a lot of Stalkers and Immortals, which are great for killing armored units, but none of these units are armored. You've just got a bunch of Marines, a bunch of Hellions, 1 Marauder. So this would be an interesting engagement if these units actually engage together. Now CuePhoenix does have this Raven, which has been storing up energy since it's just been sitting here. And it can use this energy to plop down a couple of different things, including a point defense drone, which will shoot down the shots from Stalkers. So that could come in pretty handy here, especially since most of this, a good chunk of this army is Stalkers, a bunch of Zealots. Zealots are going to do quite a bit of damage, but you know, these Hellions do extra damage against the Zealots. And if we take a look here at one of these units, you can see that CuePhoenix has been upgrading his infantry. They both have upgraded attack and armor, and these Hellions now have an attack bonus as well. And it looks like an armory is down, so maybe seeing an attack upgrade for these Banshees as well. So it looks like CuePhoenix is going to try to move out. His command center has been upgraded to an orbital. This Hellion comes out, it's going to get annihilated right away, but see this force here, and the units are coming down the ramp, doing a lot of damage against these Stalkers, and a point defense drone coming out like I expected before, shooting down these Stalker shots, and these Zealots are just really cleaning up. But you know, since with these Hellions here and these Marines and these medevacs healing everybody, looks like the Terran's going to be able to stop this contain and push out with his expansion. This Observer's in a dangerous position with that Raven there. It could get shot down by Marines. Watch out for that missile turret. It's going to... Ah, there we go. So, go missile turret. 1 kill for you. And CuePhoenix able to establish his expansion here. And look how long these... I mean, this point defense drone is even recharging energy. That's just an amazing little defensive tool there. And even an auto turret was placed down here at the back to guard the ramp. But PlacentaStew taking a cue from CuePhoenix. A cue from CuePhoenix, look at that. And taking down this missile turret, and going to be taking out those Marines, and coming in here and cleaning up this proxy shenanigans. These barracks lifting up and leaving to safety. These 2 Marines holding the southern Xel'Naga Tower. And PlacentaStew sending out a Zealot. Looks like he's routed to check out and look out for extra bases. These units are leaving the Xel'Naga Tower, so an interesting choice by Placenta, saying, I don't want vision, I'm fine without vision in the middle of the map. I don't care if you're moving out, I've got enough stuff. Nice little pylon up here to allow warp-ins at the front gate. But no forge from Placenta. That's just an interesting decision. Going for no upgrades. CuePhoenix has upgraded pretty much all of his units here. You know, ship level has not been upgraded yet. 2 Vikings coming out, interesting choice, and more Banshees. So now we are seeing a very balanced composition between Marines. Got a couple of Marauders now, Hellions, Banshees, Vikings. You know, not quite the kitchen sink here, but just a little bit of everything. And PlacentaStew getting his base established, going down for double gas. He's, you know, you can see he's kind of low on gas here, but CuePhoenix has a lot of stuff, a lot of money not being used. Still making double Hellions. Just don't see a lot of Hellion play against Protoss, at least down here in the Bronze and Silver League, but of course you also don't see a lot of Ravens down in Bronze or Silver League. So a lot of mules being made, mining a lot here. Both players have a pretty good 2-base economy going. PlacentaStew just building a couple of units here at the front. Finally got some sentries here, put down some Guardian Shields and Force Fields. And these 2 proxy barracks are making reactors, so we'll maybe see some action from them later on. CuePhoenix maintaining vision in the middle of the map with these 2 Marines. So as we said before, I mean, this vision is crucial in these cross positions. If this group from Placenta decides to move out, or this group from CuePhoenix decides to move out, there's a pretty good chance they're going to move through the middle of this map. Okay, scratch that. There's actually no way they can get through without going through the middle or using some kind of drop mechanic. So both players would be able to see any kind of movement coming back and forth. And there's all of these hiding shrubberies that kind of prevent this vision in the middle. CuePhoenix taking his army out, moving out here. Looks like he's going to try to establish a 3rd expansion here. Not sure that he can see this proxy pylon. He can't. But yeah, there we can see CuePhoenix trying to build a 3rd command center here. That's why he's bringing this group here. So this is actually kind of a nice position. This position right here in the middle, he can defend an expansion here. He can also defend his natural and therefore his main. So these units going to come up, take care of this proxy, and PlacentaStew has built up quite an army back here. Triple Immortal, couple of sentries, Zealots, a lot of Stalkers, which is going to be an interesting composition against this you know, heavy Marine Hellion group, a couple of Banshees, and this Raven, which proved to be pretty useful in the last engagement, and a bunch of medevacs. So because of that vision gained by the Xel'Naga Tower, CuePhoenix is going to be able to see this armor this army gathering here, and these units got killed down here, but don't forget CuePhoenix brought these Hellions up to the northern part, so he can still see this army moving out. Looks like they're going to go in for the kill. CuePhoenix already in somewhat of a concave here. Looks like a point defense drone coming back here. Look at the range on that thing, taking down these stalker shots. Another one coming down, and then just a massive engagement here, turning on the hit points. You can see that CuePhoenix's units are staying pretty intact with all of those upgrades, and with all of these medevacs, that's 8 medevacs recharging and healing these Marines. They're just making short work of all of these armored units that are not made for killing Marines. They're made for killing Marauders and tanks, but instead they're facing this light army force of Marines, and I think most of the Hellions are gone. One Marauder left, and this Raven coming along for fun. These Vikings, that's kind of an interesting, but you got the kitchen sink with a lot of different things here, and all these things geared towards killing light units, but they have the advantage of not being countered by armored units, and Placenta going to be in trouble here, sending in some stuff. He's got a Void Ray here, should probably try to pull these units back for more reinforcements, but instead of sending them forward, and they're just going to get annihilated here by these units. This Void Ray taking those double hits, quadruple hits from those Vikings, and this army poised to come up the front. This Immortal damaged, and he escaped, but now he's not going to escape. And apparently this game is blog worthy, and GG from PlacentaStew. That's why we're casting this game today by request from the 3rd season of the ladder. So you can see in a surprising, I don't know if CuePhoenix is surprised as I am, but this Raven, look at that. It's already recharged enough energy to put down an auto turret. So this, Raven, I think, really turned both battles, both major engagements in the middle of the map, by placing down those point defense drones. I mean, those point defense drones negate the damage coming from the stalkers, or you could also argue they basically are meat shields. They soak up the damage from those stalkers and prevent those stalkers from damaging the other units, and that just allowed these Banshees to continue to shoot down, harass, and you can see there's actually 5 Marauders here. Looks like I misclicked before. There's 5 Marauders here. Their survival is probably all due to those point defense drones stopping those stalkers from shooting them. And even though I don't know, I think this game was pretty close. Placenta had another Immortal and another Void Ray coming out of the Stargate. If he would have pulled back, he would have been able to hold off a little bit better, but with all of these upgraded units, CuePhoenix was upgrading his units, and Placenta, oh, here's that Immortal and here's that Void Ray, did not do any upgrades on his units, which would have done him wonders against the Terran units. The Protoss units are stronger. But yeah, a pretty even game, a lot of expanding going on from both players. You can see CuePhoenix up to his 3rd expansion. So go bronze and silver. Marine Hellion apparently can take out Stalker Immortal with the help of a Raven. So we'll take a quick glance at the score screen here. And you can see from the score screen that these players really were pretty much even, and I think it was just that kind of unique unit composition of Marines and Hellions, of all things, that countered Stalkers and Immortals. That's just still so surprising to me. But there you have it, games from Silver Bronze League. So much fun in StarCraft 2. Even though you're not pro, you can still get some excitement out of this. So going to call it a game today. This is StarcraftDad signing off, and see you guys next time.